We are at the hospital because we are dealing with okay.
The internet is losing its mind right now because Chris Brown is straight up spiraling after the bombshell news dropped that Karrueche Tran and Deion Sanders secretly tied the knot, and word on the streets is she might even be carrying twins. This isn't some sweet little family update. This is the kind of wild twist that has people glued to their phones like, wait, what? Chris has been salty ever since folks found out Karrueche and Deion were together, tossing shade every chance he gets. But now, with marriage confirmed and pregnancy rumors flooding timelines, his bitterness has morphed into a full-on public meltdown.
Somebody, then you tend to fall in love with somebody else. It's kind of difficult. Is it such thing as loving two people? I don't know.
The timing couldn't be messier either, and fans are clocking every slick post, every subliminal lyric, convinced he's about to snap in the ugliest way possible. And let's keep it real. One thing about Chris Brown, he never misses an opportunity to aim at his exes. This time, his shots are laser-focused on Karrueche. Their breakup might feel like ancient history, but the way he's acting proves he never truly let go. A few days ago, the whisper started, Karrueche secretly got married to her man, Deion Sanders' grandson, and the rumor mill hasn't slowed down since. Now fans are buzzing, saying Chris isn't just mad, he's obsessed. Every cryptic line, every petty jab is fueling the fire that he still wants control over Karrueche's spotlight. But with her moving on and possibly starting a family, he's looking more desperate than ever. Word on the streets is exploding. Karrueche Tran and Deion Sanders didn't just keep their love tucked away, they might have actually pulled off a secret wedding. The whispers turned into full-on screams after fans spotted what looked like a bold red ring shining on Karrueche's finger. And now everyone's convinced the rumors are facts. While the internet is out here piecing together receipts, there's one person who's not handling the news well at all, Chris Brown. He's already spinning out over Karrueche moving on. And just when he probably thought it couldn't get any worse, another bombshell dropped. Sources are now saying Karrueche is pregnant, and not just with one baby, but twins. Insiders claim Karrueche and Deion decided it was the perfect moment to start a family after his health scare shook their world. You remember that emotional video where Deion opened up about his cancer battle, right? Karrueche wasn't just sitting quietly in the background, she was right there, breaking down as she explained how terrifying it all was.
We were dealing with bladder cancer. He is having his bladder removed, and they will create a new bladder with one of his intestines. And this option was I guess the best because it fully removes the cancer to ensure that it doesn't come back, because it was close to his muscle. So yeah, we are here to fully remove the bladder.
Texting the boys. It's their first day of practice today, and I'm excited.
And when Deion tried to stay calm and strong, Karrueche made it crystal clear this wasn't just his fight. She said it plain. When they went into surgery, it wasn't him, it was them. That raw moment sealed it for fans. This couple is ride or die. And now the idea of babies in the mix is turning their bond into a full-blown power move. Meanwhile, Chris looks like he's crumbling, while the rest of the world is watching Karrueche step into a whole new chapter. She wasn't just there for the selfies. She was showing up at every doctor's appointment, checking in with his trainer, and stepping fully into that supportive girlfriend role. That's a heavy commitment to make early on in a relationship, but Karrueche didn't flinch. For most couples, there's a soft launch, quiet dates, a slow roll into the public eye, but for these two, it went straight from private to hospitals and surgeries. Not your usual fairy tale love story, but one thing's for sure, it pulled them closer together. And closer might even be an understatement, because now, homegirl is allegedly married and pregnant with twins. But here's where it gets messy. A lot of people are side-eyeing this whole situation because Deion Sanders' relationship history is anything but clean. Let's break it down. First came Carolyn Chambers, his wife and the mother of 3 of his kids. That ended in divorce. Then he married Pilar Bigger Sanders, had 2 more children. But their split turned into a nasty public custody war. He dragged Pilar through the mud in court, labeling her unstable and fighting hard to strip her of her rights. And it doesn't stop there. After Pilar, Deion linked up with Tracy Edmonds. They spent 7 years together before he finally popped the question, only to yank the ring back and call off their engagement in 2023, after more than a decade of ups and downs. That's when whispers started buzzing that Karrueche was sliding in as the new woman in his life. So while fans are celebrating this new chapter, critics are already predicting history might just repeat itself. Mess, drama, and heartbreak circling back around. Plenty of people said Karrueche was walking straight into heartbreak with Deion. But at the end of the day, if she's glowing and happy, fans are ready to let her live her little fairy tale. Except for one person, Chris Brown. From the very moment news broke about Karrueche and Deion, Chris has been unraveling in real time, and his behavior is getting uglier by the day. Word on the streets is Chris had been plotting a way back into Karrueche's life for months, convinced he still had a chance to win her over. But now reality's smacking him in the face because it's clear she's not giving him the same energy. And honestly, it's wild that Chris is even shocked, given everything he put her through. Let's rewind. Karrueche and Chris first crossed paths back in 2011 when she was hustling in fashion and carving her way into modeling. They clicked instantly, and by March, their relationship was already public. But the cracks showed quick because within just a year, Chris was tangled back up with his ex, Rihanna. By early 2012, he and Rihanna were rekindling flames while Karrueche was stuck in the middle of chaos, getting dragged non-stop by Rihanna's diehard fans. She was catching heat from every direction, all while standing by a man who couldn't decide what or who he really wanted. And when Chris finally decided to cut things off with Karrueche, the way he did it had the whole world side-eyeing him. And then Chris tried to play it cool when he first cut things off, saying, "I love Karrueche very much, but I don't want to see her hurt over my friendship with Rihanna. I'd rather be single," allowing us both to be happy in our own lives. But instead of bowing out gracefully, he turned around and dropped a full promo video, publicly confessing he was in love with both Rihanna and Karrueche at the same time. Talk about messy. Fans were clowning him like, "Yo, isn't this the definition of these girls ain't loyal?" By May 2013, his romance with Rihanna had already fizzled out, and, like clockwork, Chris went running right back to Karrueche. The wildest part? She took him back without a second thought. Within weeks, they were shacked up again, acting like none of the drama had even happened. But history doesn't lie, and it wasn't long before the same chaos came crashing back. Chris landed himself in rehab, where rumors spread fast that he got involved with one of the staff members. Next thing you know, he's back behind bars. Meanwhile, Karrueche was pulling the plug after catching him texting multiple women behind her back. Their relationship turned into a never-ending loop. She'd catch him cheating, they'd have explosive fights, then Chris would run to social media to shade her. And yet, somehow, they always circled back to each other. But the real breaking point hit hard. Karrueche discovered Chris had cheated again, this time with model Nia Guzman. And it wasn't just a quick fling. He had a whole child with her. The most brutal part? Karrueche didn't even hear it from him. She found out online like the rest of the world, and that's when she completely lost it. Karrueche finally hit her breaking point and fired off a tweet that shook the internet. Listen, one can only take so much. Best of luck to Chris and his family. No baby drama for me. Looks like I'm a single lady again. That was her mic drop moment, and for the first time, it looked like she was really done. She shifted her energy back into her career, rebuilding her life piece by piece, even opening herself up to dating again. But every time Chris caught wind of her being with someone new, his jealousy went through the roof. By 2015, Chris sat down with Ryan Seacrest, claiming he was ready to own up to his mistakes and take accountability. Meanwhile, Karrueche was keeping it classy in interviews, wishing him the best but making it clear she had moved on. But Chris wasn't having it. He went on a rant online, blasting her for even mentioning him, writing, "Honestly, it's so pointless to keep doing interviews about me. Talk about your career. If there's no more relationship, then stop doing interviews with people. I won't let you get the pleasure of prying into my personal life. It's starting to get real weak." The bitterness was loud and messy, but Karrueche wasn't about to let him rewrite her story. She clapped back saying, "They asked a question, and as a mature adult, I answered. I'm not gonna shy away from something I lived through. I'm talking about my life and experiences. That response had fans cheering because she wasn't just defending herself. She was drawing a line in the sand. Karrueche finally let it all out in a clapback that fans still call legendary. She wrote, "I'm not speaking on you or bashing you like I easily could. Don't be mad at me because our relationship is overdue to your lack of loyalty. You know what's weak? You forcing yourself into my car, my broken window, blowing up my phone, trying to shower me with gifts. Man up and change that mess in your life like I've told you several times." Woo! She gave it to him straight with no filter, and the internet called it a full-on read. Chris, clearly rattled, folded almost instantly. He posted, "I'm eternally thankful for you being a part of my life. I've learned so much from you. I wish you nothing but happiness and the best at Karrueche. All I was doing was trying to fight for the woman I love. Thanks. I learned a lot. It sounded sweet, but the drama didn't stop there. Behind the scenes, things got darker. Chris allegedly started stalking Karrueche, keeping tabs on her, blowing up her phone, and even sending threats to her and her family. By 2017, she had reached her limit and marched straight to court for protection. In her testimony, she revealed Chris had gotten violent after demanding she return the diamond rings he gifted her. When she refused, he allegedly unleashed threatening texts that left her shaken. But it went deeper. Courtroom documents show Karrueche accused him of threatening to harm her, harass her friends, and even shoot her. Fans were stunned, wondering how a love story that once looked glamorous had unraveled into such a dangerous and toxic spiral. Karrueche testified that around the second week of February, Chris told people close to him that he was going to take her out, saying, "If no one else can have her, I'll make sure no one does." She also revealed that during their relationship, he had gotten physically violent, punching her in the stomach twice and even pushing her down the stairs. She admitted she didn't file a police report at the time, but according to her account, all of this happened while Chris was still on probation for the infamous 2009 assault on Rihanna. Back then, Chris pled guilty to making criminal threats and felony assault, cutting a plea deal that kept him out of prison in exchange for community labor. By 2015, he had finally logged over 1,000 hours of community service for that case. You'd think all that would have taught him a lesson, but while he was serving his dues for one woman, he was allegedly repeating the same toxic patterns with another. Some cycles don't just fade, they get louder. And fans never let him forget it. Social media has dragged him for years, pointing out that his behavior shows he struggles to function without control over Karrueche. The proof? The moment her 5-year restraining order expired, Chris went right back to obsessing. He stalked blogs that posted her pictures, dropping likes and comments as if to remind her and the world that he was still watching. Then last year, when Karrueche posted a set of gorgeous photos looking unbothered and thriving, Chris made sure to like them publicly, sparking instant backlash. To fans, it wasn't a harmless double tap. It was a desperate reminder of a man who refuses to let go. If anyone needed proof that Chris Brown was still stuck on Karrueche, it came during his messy little feud with Quavo around the release of his 11:11 album. On the track, Freak, Chris couldn't resist tossing shade, making it crystal clear he was salty that Quavo had once dated Karrueche. He rapped, "Okay, no messing on my old girl, ain't gonna make a sequel, sipping that 1942, cause I don't do no Quavo. Freaky girls say she like Casamigos, not the Migos." Fans instantly caught the shots. It wasn't even subtle. But Chris didn't realize he was digging himself into a hole because Quavo clapped back hard. On Tinder, Quavo went straight for the jugular, bragging that he bagged Karrueche after Chris fumbled, and then calling him out for his ugly history. He rapped, "Now the B gone, she's supposed to with a thug, call the B phone, she won't come home, don't beat her up, must be the drugs, need to cross her out, you plug." Then Quavo twisted the knife further, labeling Chris a cokehead and mocking his obsession, spitting, "Tell me, lil bro, what's your issue? What's your issue? It's over a thought you said is bigger than, nah, it's not. It's cause I be digging in that. I got him hot, got him hot." The shots were brutal. Disrespect turned into humiliation, and fans had a field day picking sides. To make it worse, on the same album, Chris dropped an entire song called Residual, basically a dedication track to Karrueche. The lyrics were a dead giveaway, with him confessing she was still heavy on his mind. So while Chris tried to flex, he only ended up looking like a man who never let go. And Quavo? He came out looking like the one holding all the power. Chris poured his heart into Residual with lyrics like, "She's still on my mind. Do we build it up just to let it wash away? Tell me, do you up just to watch you run away?" And every time he performs it, there's one detail fans can't ignore. He's either rocking a red bandana or tying it around the mic stand. That's not random at all. Fans are convinced it's a direct tribute to Karrueche, throwing it back to 2014 when she blindfolded him with a red bandana for his surprise welcome home party after he got out of jail. Now, every performance feels like him clinging to those old memories, wishing he could rewind time. But here's the twist. Chris put her through absolute chaos. And now that Karrueche has leveled up with a wealthy man who actually seems to cherish her, suddenly Chris can't take it. When news broke about her secret marriage and possible twin pregnancy, he completely crashed out. He couldn't resist shading her on social media, writing, "It still pisses me off to this day. I'm gonna pray on it." Fans were quick to call it bitter energy, but the drama didn't stop there. According to insiders, Chris allegedly reached out to Karrueche after hearing the baby rumors, hoping he could somehow work things out. And the wildest claim? He even offered to help raise the twins, as if she'd actually take him back after everything. The desperation is loud and fans aren't buying it for a second. This saga proves one thing: Chris may never truly move on, no matter how far Karrueche goes. And now, with her glow-up shining brighter than ever, his heartbreak just keeps playing out in public for everyone to see. If you've been keeping up with this messy ride, let us know your thoughts down below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Public Secrets for more tea.